Welcome to Functional Fourth Trimester, a podcast created to support new parents as they return to daily life after having a baby.
Each episode will talk through common postpartum challenges, share practical education and strategies, and hear from real parents and healthcare professionals along the way.
Whether you're listening during a feeding, a walk, or a quiet moment, this space is for you. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Melissa, and we're excited to jump right into today's topic.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, Functional Fourth Trimester. Today's episode is going to be a big introduction about who we are, what this channel is all about, and what kind of topics we're going to be discussing. So let's go ahead and jump right into talking about our podcast. For this first episode, we are going to be offering an introduction to the podcast series instead of focusing on a particular topic. So we'll be covering things like who we are, why are we even making this podcast, what each episode will look like, and offering the specific topics that we're going to be discussing. So we hope that after listening to this brief episode, you have a better idea of who we are and what this podcast will look like. Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of our podcast, Functional Fourth Trimester. We are so excited that you are here.
Yes, welcome. This podcast was created with new parents in mind, and our goal is to leave you feeling informed, supported, and encouraged during the postpartum period. I'm Melissa. I've been working with mom and baby in homes for over 10 years, and I see you, and I know that it's hard when you're alone.
And I'm Lauren. I am an occupational therapy student. I am partnering with Melissa and the postpartum OT for my doctoral capstone project. I have been drawn to postpartum care for the last few years and really want to advocate for the role that OT can play within the postpartum field. The more I hear stories from my friends who are in the thick of postpartum, the more I realize how many unmet needs there are and really the toll that giving birth takes on a mom's body. I'm so excited to learn even more about postpartum through creating this podcast and how occupational therapists can better support new parents during this difficult transition.
So many moms say, you have a baby, it's a brand new occupation, a new thing, it's a huge life transition, and then you're sent home. You don't have a manual, you don't know what to do. So our hopes is that this podcast can be a bit of a manual for you while you work through the transition into motherhood with baby 1, baby 2, or baby 3.
Yes, absolutely. We really made this podcast to try to fill some of those gaps in postpartum care that we're seeing. We conducted a needs assessment via Google survey to kind of identify some of these unmet needs in areas new parents are experiencing. We got 73 responses ranging from those who are currently pregnant to those who even gave birth more than 19 years ago, and found that 63% of moms had some sort of medical complication, either during pregnancy, during birth, or postpartum. And almost half of these respondents reported feeling really unsure of where to go for help at times and didn't really know what services they had available to them. And the majority of respondents reported education and support from others as being two of the most helpful things during postpartum for them. So through this podcast, we really want to normalize asking for help and learning skills that make daily life feel even more manageable with a new baby. So what is each episode going to look like? This podcast is intended to be both educational and encouraging for new parents. Each episode, we will focus on a specific occupational challenge that is commonly faced by new parents. Each episode, we will share concrete, practical education related to the specific topic, and also hear from a real parent or healthcare professional who has lived experience with this topic.
So some of the topics that we'll be covering will be sleep, feeding, mental health, physical recovery, parenting multiples, twins, or even adding your first, second, third child, balancing your household responsibilities, and so much more. We'll be explaining these topics through an occupational therapy lens, meaning we'll look at how these challenges affect one's ability to do the things that they want and need to do every day.
So you may be wondering, who is this podcast for? This podcast is for new parents, it's for expecting parents, parents who are already in the thick of postpartum, Really, any caregiver or provider who just wants a better understanding of certain postpartum challenges. We also want this to be a space for both moms and dads. Even if it's a topic that maybe seems more specific to moms, we hope that dads are able to get something out of this podcast too and feel more equipped for their postpartum experience and to support their partner. Today, we release this introduction episode as well as a few other episodes. And following these, we will continue uploading episodes on even more topics, aiming for roughly once a week. For even more updates on our podcast, feel free to follow us on Instagram and Facebook under the page Functional Fourth Trimester. We will also be uploading blog posts on the Postpartum OT website to accompany each episode and topic. Thank you so much for being here and giving us your time. We can't wait to continue these conversations with you. See you next time.
I hope today's conversation gave you something practical to take into your day or simply remind you that what you're experiencing is normal. Returning to daily life after birth is a process and support matters.
However your day continues from here, be gentle with yourself. You're doing important work. Thanks for listening. We'll meet you back here next time.